Hello, my name is Luminita, and I'm afraid of driving. Well, technically, I was afraid of driving. I've actually never ever been really passionate about driving before. I took my driving license at the age of 18 because all my friends did and all my classmates did. Yet now looking back, I think this interest was more of a protective shield, not to show anyone that I was honestly super anxious. I cared, I was interested, but I was afraid that I will not be a good driver, that I will harm myself, someone else, that I will damage the car. Yet half a year ago, when this really irrational, stupid fear started to limit myself, limit my possibilities of going somewhere, seeing something, I decided to finally address the elephant in the room and work on it. But you know what? Actually, this discussion is worth a quick drive. Okay, so one of the biggest mistakes of mine was to not start driving right after getting the driving license. And fun fact, I actually have 2 driving licenses, or I passed the driving exam twice in 2 different countries. Once in Moldova, in the country that I was born when I was 18, and then in Austria when I moved because I needed to change the driving license. That's why my tip number 1, if you're afraid to drive, is to start as soon as possible. When your theoretical knowledge is fresh, when you remember every single rule. I know that in some countries, Moldova inclusively, you can buy a sticker that shows everyone on the road that you are a beginner, that you own the driving license for less than 1 year. So you can make your baby steps as safely as possible. Now, this being said, let's actually take a drive together. Oftentimes we're afraid to drive because of the unknown. We don't know how we'll react in different situations. After driving on the same road again and again and again, you will start to feel more comfortable driving it because you will know every single turn, every single bump. You will just be more confident because the road is not unknown to you anymore. And after some time, when you get the feeling that you're already a good driver, a confident driver, try to make some extra miles or extra kilometers outside of this road, or take a different road. This way you'll put yourself again out of the comfort zone, so you're able to learn even more, but this time you'll be much more confident than at the beginning. Continuing the topic of the unknown and the fear thereof, you will have to drive sometimes a road that is not your road, not the one that you are training on or you know already so well. I would actually go on Google, set itinerary, and really follow step by step where I have to turn, how I have to turn. Even if I'll use Google Maps later on while driving, it was important for me to see more or less how the road looks like. Moreover, at the very beginning, what I used to do, because I was really very afraid of everything, I would go on Google Street View and really look how the road looks like, look how the turn looks like, look where I have to switch the lines in order to turn left or right. This way, when I was driving, the road was not completely new to me anymore. I actually saw it, I imaginary already drove it. I think I've earned myself a coffee break, but in the meantime, make sure that your subscribe button over there is not red but gray. Okay, I'm back, and while I'm drinking my coffee, because I might film and drive but not drink and drive, because I don't have an automatic car but a manual one.
All 4 suspects didn't know how to drive a standard, which meant they weren't going anywhere.
My next tip for you is to have your driving playlist. I've created mine pretty early and then changed it, and I have this very cute playlist cover of me while driving, and these are the songs that are both motivational and have a repetitive beat, because if you know repetitive beats, they help you concentrate. Maybe you can also choose some songs that with the lyrics that you know, because I notice that this helps me. Sometimes when I drive, I just play the beat on the wheel and then I can sing along. It feels like I'm alone in the car, like in my little room, nobody can see me, and I feel happy, confident, and ready to drive.
Making my way downtown, walking fast, faces past, and I'm homebound.
At the very beginning, I was really insisting on people to drive with me because I was so nervous that I might make some mistakes that I don't notice, but these people will. That's why I was begging absolutely anyone, my father, my sister, my boyfriend, everyone, just to be with me in the car. But watch out, sometimes it's better to drive alone rather than with the wrong person. As much as I adore Max, it was simply impossible to drive with him next to me at the beginning because he was nervous, he was worried that I don't make any mistakes, he was noticing absolutely everything, so he was in such a stressful feeling, we're in such a stressful atmosphere that obviously this projected on me. I was even more stressful than before, which made him stressful, so it was this vicious circle that would make unhappy both of us in the end. As a comparison, I remember driving with my father, and generally he's a very impulsive person, but when I was driving with him, he was super calm. He obviously would notice everything, but if we were safe and I was doing some minor mistakes, he would not tell me about that during driving, maybe later or not at all. And later on, when my parents moved away, I started to drive alone, and this is where the previous tip comes very handy, to have some music. Or instead of music, I would turn on the radio, and there were some people talking, so I didn't feel completely alone, left alone and isolated. I would feel with someone, but there's absolutely no one that would actively criticize me while driving. Outside is getting super stormy and snowy, so let's go back inside. So yeah, that was my journey, directly and indirectly speaking, from being very much afraid of not only driving but the thought of driving, to being confident enough to take my camera and talk to you while I was wandering around the city. Now, if you found this video interesting, but most importantly helpful, give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comment section below some of your tips and tricks how you fought your fear of driving. Also, if you like to see more and more videos like this, make sure that you clicked on the subscribe and bell buttons, because only this way you'll be notified every single time when there is something new, some activity on this channel. Okay, I'll not take any of your extra time. Enjoy your day and see you in my next video. Bye.